Cam Buford here, voice of the fans. Got Mr. Eddie Johnson. Eddie, when you go into the Hall of Fame, are you wearing a Sonics hat? You wearing a Suns hat? What hat are you wearing?
I don't know, but I need you to keep pushing for me to get into the
I'm gonna keep doing it, man. You sit down with me. I'm gonna keep doing it for you.
Man, I retired with, I think I was like top 15 guys scored, when I retired. Now everybody's passed me up, so now the Hall of Fame forgotten about me.
Hey, you used to get them up though. How'd that shoulder feel? I mean, you have to.
A walking muscle.
A walking muscle, he says. Okay, yeah. So you didn't take a year to recuperate, a year on the beach with rubbing sand on that shoulder.
My mom's 92 years old, man. I come from good stock.
Oh, it's good genes then.
I come from good stock.
Pass that around. Eddie, let's talk about. We're here in the summer league, man. What summer league? It's taken on a different beast. It's become a different beast here in years to come. How are you enjoying Summer League? Obviously, you're working, but what do you get out of Summer League?
I love it because I grew up in Chicago. I used to go back as an NBA player in the Chicago Summer League, which I thought was the best in the country at the time. And it wasn't this kind of controlled environment. But we had NBA officials there refereeing our games, and we had mostly pro players that came back from their NBA season playing there, and the crowd was just overflowing.
Okay.
And it's just a beautiful experience, man, when you have people in there watching you perform, and it's a different type of fan. Like the Summer League fan is different from the NBA fan. Summer League, because these fans, they don't actually go to the NBA games because some tickets too damn cheap. So these are like some diehard, like street ball fans that speak their mind, and they just look at the game in a different way. And you respect that aspect of them too. And so when I walk in the gym and I look around, I'm seeing different types of fans, man, and they're enjoying this process of what these young kids are doing.
All backgrounds, old, young. This shows that NBA is actually an international game. The fans, when you look in the stands here, that's really good. Now you mentioned something kind of took me off track. You mentioned street ball. How does a former NBA player look at that? There's that 30 for 30, that and one mixtape. How does a former NBA player look at that? Is that evolving the game of basketball, or do you feel like that's taken away from the game of basketball?
They don't like me.
They don't like you? Why?
Because I think it's a joke.
You think?
And not a joke for them. Because
it's their opportunity.
That's their opportunity.
Yeah.
But if you want to get to the highest level,
that's exactly
when you're dribbling the ball 89 times and your whole goal is to embarrass somebody for the crowd out there, and then when you go up to shoot, you shoot a damn brick. I mean, that doesn't transfer to the next level.
You're talking about a particular player in a region of this country that's good. You're gonna not make people happy, Eddie.
Look, I'm a basketball savant, and I played in the league 18 years.
And that's why
you don't want to hear and understand what I think it takes for you to get here, then you're not going to make it anyway.
That's why I asked you, because you have the experience. And
what I tell kids is like, and one is a circus. It can make money.
Right.
That's not how you play ball.
Okay.
Fair enough. And I think a part of that is reach the NBA, where you have some superstars that want to dribble 100 times before they shoot. And I'm just from that era, man. And it's no disrespect to anybody, but I'm just from that era. This is my thinking.
Yeah.
That if you don't have nothing when you catch it within 2 seconds, pass the damn ball. Unless you're a point guard and you're trying to create for somebody. Okay. And so that's just been my mentality with that. So all due respect to M1, they've done a great job in marketing and doing their thing.
Yeah.
I just think if you're a young man and want to play ball, don't watch them tapes.
You want to make it to the game. Let's talk about those Phoenix Suns and what happens. I know you're with them throughout the year. What happened? As you see it, what happened at the end of the year?
I don't think anybody knows per se 100%. All I can do is say this. They won 64 games, and you reach your own conclusion. They won 64 games. I think they lost 2 times where they lost more than 2 games. Okay,
back
2
to
games
back.
in a row.
Yeah, they didn't lose back-to-back games until
exactly.
that. Yeah.
All right. Chris Paul's unbelievable had a great year. In the first round, when he had to go 14-14 to close out New Orleans, does that look like somebody that was intimidated by any damn ball?
No.
Right. Did the Suns look like they were intimidated by anybody during the course of this season? No.
That's what makes that so
you
amazing.
got to come up with your own opinion. They're not talking. My own opinion is I don't think guys were healthy. I don't think guys were 100% healthy in that situation.
Okay, fair enough. Can we use health? Is that a legitimate reason?
In the COVID environment, yes. Because I've been injured.
That's fair.
I've been injured.
That's fair.
Beat up. But I didn't feel like I was out of shape. See, it's two different things.
Yeah. Look, I haven't experienced
You
COVID.
can't play NBA and feel like your heart's getting ready to come out of your chest.
All right.
So, like when you get the flu, like go back to Michael Jordan with the flu. If you get the flu, that's compromising you internally. If I got a bruised calf,
Hold up, baby. I'm gonna get you there. I'm gonna get you now. Go ahead if you're with your bruised
if I
calf.
have a bruised calf, I can fight through that.
Okay.
I can fight through that.
Yeah.
But when your energy level is soft, you can't go that way.
Okay. Isn't that why we revere Michael Jordan in that flu game? Because he were able to push through and play similar to what he was when he was healthy? Isn't that why we revere him?
He gets credit for that.
Yeah. And so if you have a physical ailment, you can kind of compensate for that. But I buy the internal sickness. I'll buy that one. We can't really grade that.
And COVID is a lot damn worse than the flu.
From what I'm told. From what I knock on wood. All right.
I've had it twice, so I know.
Oh man.
Yeah, you can still do it.
Eddie, a couple more things real quick. Before Game 1 in the NBA Finals, Adam Silver made it a point to say the rumors were false of the NBA expanding to here Vegas and Seattle.
Right.
Have you heard anything different under the table? We need to get a team back in Seattle. We need you to be the announcer for the team back in Seattle.
I don't think Adam Silver is fiddling when he says that because he's not going to announce nothing until it's definitive. That's his job. He's not going to say maybe because if it doesn't go through, then guess what? The city of Seattle is upset. But I'll say this. It's going to be expansion because historically it's always been. And when you have three cities out there right now that are NBA ready. Kansas City is NBA ready. Las Vegas is NBA ready. And Seattle is by far NBA ready. And so you have three cities right now that are NBA ready to go. They have a fan base. Seattle has a fan base already. Kansas City has a fan base. And Vegas is Vegas.
So, years ago, the NBA wouldn't come. I think it was David Stern that refused to come to the NBA because of the gambling scenario. Obviously, we know things have changed. Gambling has become more
legal.
That being the case, it just opened the door. That argument was there a few years ago is no longer an argument.
Well, Vegas is a four sports city now. I mean, they got hockey, they got football, right? Yeah. Basketball's coming up, and baseball's coming up. I'm telling you, it's because of gambling is opened up now. But I think the fans here in Vegas, as you see, are very sophisticated now. They love their sports. I mean, the hockey team has a lot of freaking success. The Raiders are going to have success. And look, you're either going to gamble or you're not. I mean, you can't just control people and hide it from them. I mean, now you have betting parlors all over the country. So it doesn't even matter. But those three cities deserve it. And in hierarchy to me is Seattle, Vegas, Kansas City.
Kansas City's a viable option, huh? Last thing for me, NBA free agency. It's a little different than it was when you played, in the sense that the GMs and the teams were making a lot of decisions. Now we have a lot of players kind of making their decisions. What do you think about that kind of evolution? And then there's just a couple players out there that's on the blocks you want to talk about.
Players have more empowerment now, and they need to thank us for it. They're able to really command huge salaries, which means now that owners are going to treat them like one of the old cars they got in their garage. Like they're not going to overuse it. Back in our days, we traveled commercial. We get up, we play 3 games in 3 nights. We travel commercial. I'm sitting next to some big dude, and he didn't sleep all night. He smelled like liquor, and he want to have a conversation with me. I got to land, go take a nap, get up and play again. I had to wash my own damn uniform, carry my own bag.
Wait, you was watching?
That's what we did back in the day, and so I still love
You say
it.
back in the day, that was
In the 80s, I still loved it. I still loved it though. There was no issue, man.
You didn't know any
because
different.
I didn't care. I was in the NBA.
Sure.
And so now, I mean, these guys are coddled, but they also are making so much money that you have to be careful with them. You know, I'm an owner. I don't want to overuse a guy and get that, but I don't want the player to fall into that trap of thinking that way. Like the player should just wait to be held back, but not you hold yourself. And that bothers me about players today, and it makes me wonder if they love the game. Because I didn't miss my first 5 years, man. I ain't missed jack squat. I never missed a game or practice where I could not run. And that's basically what my father. And I would love to see most players do that. There's a lot of players that do.
Yeah.
But some players, man, they check it out. Man. They don't love the game. Man. They don't. And it bothers me.
Eddie, you don't put it out there, man. You don't let the people know where they can find you. Are you on social media?
Yes, I am. Eddie Johnson. Jump Shot 8 on Twitter.
Jump Shot 8
Twitter.
He's not gonna let people forget about that jump shot.
Right. Also, you can listen to me 4 to 7, 5 days a week on Sirius XM, NBA the radio, NBA Today show. Also, Phoenix Suns, obviously. You know, we good. Okay. You can check me out doing Suns telecast at least 70 games a year. Other than that, don't bother me.
Thank you for your time, man. I'm glad I'm able to bother you. Appreciate you, man.